The Galactic Empire had ruled the stars for centuries. Its fleets vast and its authority unquestioned across countless systems. Its military commanders were veterans of uncounted battles. Its ships armed with the latest technology and its strategy honed by generations of conquest. Yet, when their scouts first reported the rising power on a blue and green planet known as Earth, the Empire's leaders dismissed it as a minor nuisance, a world unready for battle. High Admiral Kaelvorn stared at the star charts in the command center aboard the Imperial Dawn. The reports were clear. Earth's defenses appeared primitive, its starships slow and ill-equipped by galactic standards. "We can sweep through this sector and subdue this planet with minimal forces," Vorn declared, his voice calm but confident. Below, Earth's inhabitants went about their daily lives, unaware of the looming shadow. But deep beneath the surface, humanity was not as unprepared as the Empire believed. For decades, scientists and military leaders had anticipated the possibility of contact with extraterrestrial powers. Secret programs and rapid technological development had forged weapons, ships, and defenses hidden from the galaxy's watchful eyes. When the Empire's first strike fleet emerged from hyperspace near Earth's orbit, the world's defense systems activated in an instant. Earth's orbital stations, equipped with advanced sensor arrays and energy shields, lit up like beacons. Fighter squadrons scrambled from hidden bases, piloted by veterans and newly trained cadets alike. The Empire's initial assault was precise but limited, designed to test the planet's response. Yet, what the Empire did not expect was humanity's fierce determination. Unlike the complacent worlds the Empire had crushed before, Earth fought back with a ferocity born of survival. Captain Lara Reyes led a squadron of agile fighters, weaving through enemy fire with uncanny precision. Each pilot understood the stakes not just for themselves but for everyone on Earth. "They think we're easy prey," Reyes said over the comms. "Let's show them what they're up against." The battle raged for hours in the void above the planet's surface. Earth's forces employed hit-and-run tactics, exploiting their intimate knowledge of orbital terrain and their ship's maneuverability. The Empire's larger vessels struggled to adapt to the swift, unpredictable strikes. Meanwhile, on Earth's surface, civilians gathered around communication centers, watching live feeds of the battle. Fear mingled with pride as they saw their defenders holding the line against a seemingly invincible foe. Despite the Empire's overwhelming firepower, their strike force took heavier losses than anticipated. The Imperial Dawn itself suffered damage, forcing Admiral Vorn to order a retreat. "This world is not as weak as we thought," he admitted grimly to his officers. "We will need to reconsider our strategy." Back on Earth, the victory was celebrated but tempered with caution. Ambassador Leo Moreno addressed the Global Council. "This is only the beginning. The Empire's interest in our world means they see us as a threat or a prize. We must prepare for what comes next." In the shadows, scientists like Dr. Amina Patel accelerated their research. Engineers worked around the clock, improving ships and defenses with technology derived from alien artifacts discovered during secret explorations. Humanity's response was swift and resolute. The Empire's miscalculation had awakened a sleeping giant, and Earth was ready to ignite the stars with its fury. The Empire's failed strike sent shockwaves across Earth's governments and populations. What had once been whispers of alien threats became a reality too close to ignore. Earth was no longer a distant outpost, but a battleground in the making. The global leadership knew that survival meant embracing their hidden strengths, and awakening a force the galaxy had yet to witness. In the sprawling underground complex beneath the Rocky Mountains, the heart of Earth's secret war efforts throbbed with relentless energy. The Great Forge, as it was called, was a sprawling network of laboratories, shipyards, and training centers built in secrecy for decades. Here, humanity's finest minds and engineers worked tirelessly to transform Earth's modest fleet into a symbol of resistance. Dr. Amina Patel stood before a massive holographic display, her eyes scanning schematics of a new starfighter class. Unlike the slow, cumbersome ships the Empire had dismissed, these vessels were sleek, swift, and packed with cutting-edge technology, adaptive shields, electromagnetic pulse weapons, and AI-assisted piloting systems. "We've integrated alien technology from recovered Dominion and Core Alliance wreckage," Patel explained to her team. "But it's our human innovation, our unpredictability and adaptability that will give us the edge." Across the complex, engineers rushed to complete the first prototypes. Assembly lines hummed day and night as technicians forged starship hulls from new alloys capable of withstanding extreme conditions. Simultaneously, weapons teams tested plasma projectors and ion cannons, designed to disrupt the Empire's advanced shields. Beyond technology, Earth's military command was reshaping strategy. General Marcus Hale, a veteran of countless conflicts on Earth, emphasized agility and decentralized command. "We can't outgun the Empire with sheer numbers," he stated during War Council meetings. "We win by outhinking them by being faster, smarter, and more unpredictable." Training programs intensified. Pilots underwent rigorous simulations, mastering guerrilla tactics in zero-gravity and tight formation flying. Special operations units prepared for covert missions, sabotage, and intelligence gathering. Every citizen who volunteered was integrated into a war effort that transcended borders and ideologies. Meanwhile, Ambassador Leah Moreno worked tirelessly on diplomatic fronts, recognizing the importance of allies. She reached out to independent star systems and oppressed colonies under the Empire's thumb. "Our fight is not just for Earth," Moreno reminded the Council. "It's for freedom everywhere." Not all responded immediately. Many feared the Empire's might and chose caution, but pockets of resistance emerged. Rebels, smugglers, and former Empire citizens disillusioned by tyranny, each ready to throw their lot in with humanity's cause. In orbit, Earth's orbital defense platforms grew more formidable. New sensor arrays, powered by quantum processors, detected threats light years away. Shield generators capable of enveloping entire cities began operation, giving civilians a newfound sense of security. Amid uncertainty, as the Great Forge roared with creation, morale soared. The stories of the first battle, of Captain Lara Reyes' daring defense, spread quickly, becoming a rallying cry across the planet. Yet, the Empire did not sit idle. High Admiral Cale Vorn, bruised but unbroken, prepared his forces for a renewed campaign. "They've awakened," he warned his council, "but they are still inexperienced. We will exploit every weakness." His commanders debated whether to launch a full invasion or continue probing Earth's defenses with raids and sabotage. But one thing was clear: the Empire no longer saw Earth as an insignificant target. Humanity had lit a spark in the darkness, and the galaxy was about to burn. As night fell across Earth, the glow from Starship construction yards lit the horizon. The Great Forge was alive, a testament to humanity's will to survive and thrive. The battle for the stars was only beginning, but Earth was ready. The fires of innovation, courage, and unity had been ignited, and they would burn brighter than any empire could extinguish. The silence of space before dawn was broken by the steady hum of engines, the sleek forms of human starships emerging from hidden docks along the outer rim of the Sol system. Captain Lara Reyes stood on the bridge of the Vigilant Hawk, her gaze fixed on the holographic map that flickered with enemy positions. The Empire's staging base at Serrani's Prime was the target of Vile's supply hub, fueling their operations near Earth's borders. The base was heavily guarded, its sprawling docks crammed with warships and cargo vessels. But intelligence had revealed vulnerabilities, flaws in their patrol patterns, and gaps in their sensor coverage. Reyes' squadron was small, but deadly, composed of the best pilots trained in the Great Forge. Each fighter was equipped with the latest weaponry and advanced AI support. They were humanity's spearhead, designed for precision and speed. "This mission isn't just a strike," Reyes reminded her team. "It's a message. We're here to fight back, and we'll make sure the Empire knows we're not the ones to underestimate." The plan was simple, but risky. Under the cover of a meteor shower, the squadron would slip past outer defenses, disable communication arrays, and sabotage key supply vessels before retreating. Timing and coordination would be everything. As the Vigilant Hawk led the pack, the squadron slipped into the asteroid field. Space rocks glittered ominously under the light of distant stars. The Empire's scanners struggled to distinguish the fighters amid the debris, granting humanity their best chance. Suddenly, alarms blared across the fleet. A Dominion cruiser detected the intrusion earlier than expected. An Imperial fighter scrambled in response. The battle erupted instantly. Laser fire streaked through the void, weaving between asteroids as human pilots executed daring maneuvers. Reyes called out commands, her voice calm but urgent. Split formation Alpha and Beta hit their comm arrays fast and hard. Squadrons darted toward the communication towers. Explosions ripped through the arrays, plunging the base into temporary blindness. Chaos spread among the Empire forces, disorganizing their response. Reyes and her wingmen targeted supply ships loaded with weapons and fuel. Using electromagnetic pulse torpedoes, they disabled critical systems, sending hulks spinning into the void, but the Empire was not defenseless. Heavy cruisers unleashed plasma barrages, forcing human fighters to take evasive action, raises. Vigilant hawks shuddered under the impact of a near miss, but the captain pushed on. Hold tight, this is our moment. Amid the chaos, human engineers deployed stealth drones to sabotage dockside power grids. The resulting blackouts threw Imperial defenses into disarray, providing cover for the withdrawal. After nearly an hour of intense combat, Reyes signaled the retreat, regroup, and fall back. We've made our point. The squadron pulled away, weaving through the meteor field once more. Pursuing Imperial ships found their pursuit blocked by Earth's reinforcements, arriving faster than the enemy anticipated. Back on Earth, news of the strike ignited celebrations. People cheered the boldness of their warriors and morale surged. The message was clear: humanity was no longer a victim, they were a force to be reckoned with. In the Imperial command, High Admiral Vorn's face darkened as reports came in. They hit us where it hurts, he said grimly, but this is only the beginning. We will adapt and we will retaliate. For Captain Reyes, the victory was a bittersweet reminder of the cost of war. We showed them our strength, she told her crew, but we must be ready. The Empire will come back stronger. As the stars blinked above Earth, humanity stood, united, fierce, determined, and ready to ignite the galaxy with their fury. The victory at Serrani's Prime had left ripples across the galaxy. Human forces had struck a powerful blow, and the Galactic Empire, once thought invincible, was now seen as vulnerable. Across occupied star systems, whispers spread of Earth's defiance. For the first time in generations, hope stirred beyond the Empire's iron reach, but hope alone could not win wars. And the Empire, shaken but not broken, prepared its response not with fleets, but with shadows. On Earth, beneath the excitement and rising confidence, intelligence officials detected strange patterns. Communications satellites experienced brief disruptions. Power grids flickered across isolated colonies. And in one of the secure data banks deep inside the Great Forge, a strange code fragment was found, alien, adaptive, and designed to spread quietly. Commander Elias Trent, head of Earth's Strategic Intelligence Division, stared at the data stream. This isn't just a system glitch, he said. It's sabotage. They've already gotten in. The Empire had deployed something far more insidious than warships, infiltrator spies, trained to mimic local behavior, and cybernetic viruses, capable of corrupting entire systems. In orbit, the AI overseeing defense coordination Athena narrowly avoided a shutdown. When the virus attempted to override command protocols, engineers worked in shifts to isolate the threat and rebuild compromised systems. Dr. Amina Patel, now also leading cyber defense efforts, warned the Council, "We won't survive if we fight only with ships. This is a war of minds." The humanity adapted quickly. Earth's counterintelligence forces rooted out the Empire's agents, exposing several operatives hidden within supply chains and research facilities. In a dramatic nighttime raid, a deep-cover agent attempting to sabotage a plasma reactor was apprehended. His technology was unlike anything Earth had seen: silent, precise, and designed for maximum disruption, while security teams cleaned out vulnerabilities. Captain Lara Reyes received new orders. This time, she wouldn't be flying in space. Reyes led a special ops unit into a captured Dominion listening post on a distant moon in the Alpha Persei system. Intelligence suggested the outpost was being used to coordinate sabotage operations. Across the frontier, the Empire believed the outpost too remote for an attack. They were wrong. Landing silently under cover of the moon's eclipse, Reyes and her team breached the facility's lower access tunnels. Inside, they encountered robotic sentries and biometric locks. Reyes' second-in-command, Sergeant Dorian Khanna, expertly bypassed security, and the team moved swiftly. What they found confirmed Earth's worst fears. The Empire had mapped every civilian infrastructure system on Earth and planned to disrupt water, power, and communication in one coordinated strike. Worse, a countdown was already in motion. Reyes gave the order, download everything, then wipe their systems clean. Fighting erupted in the upper levels of the base as Empire forces responded. The team held their ground, holding the exit long enough to transmit the data back to Earth. A sudden explosion rocked the chamber. The Empire's soldiers had triggered a failsafe. "We're not all getting out of here," Khanna said, calmly, handing Reyes the secure data core. "You get this home." Minutes later, the facility was destroyed in a controlled implosion. Reyes' escape pod barely cleared the blast radius. Back on Earth, the data recovered from the raid allows cyber teams to stop the Empire's attack. Just hours before execution, critical systems were reinforced, communication lines secured, and emergency protocols distributed across every colony and shipped out at the next emergency summit. Ambassador Leah Moreno spoke to a planet watching through screens. They tried to break us from within, but instead, they made us stronger, more united. Every attempt to weaken us only strengthens our resolve. From the shadows of sabotage, humanity emerged more vigilant, more capable. The Empire had underestimated the power of a people who refused to surrender not just in battle, but in spirit. Now, the stars watched as Earth prepared to take the war beyond its borders. Earth had survived the Empire's first wave. The strike at Serrani's Prime proved humanity could bite. The attempted sabotage had shown they could shield themselves. But as Earth prepared for the next phase of the war, its leaders knew the truth. They couldn't win this alone. Ambassador Leah Moreno stood aboard the diplomatic vessel Unity's Promise. Approaching the neutral zone near the star system Virella 7, it was a crossroads of trade, history, and caution, a place where empires and free worlds tiptoed across uneasy truces. Ahead, the Unity's Promise was scheduled to meet with a delegation from the Viscari Syndicate, one of the largest neutral collectives in the Outer Territories. Their fleets were legendary for their speed. Their trade networks spanned dozens of systems. And though they had never openly opposed the Empire, they had never bowed to it either. Let them see our strength, but not our desperation, Moreno told her team. They need to believe this is a future worth investing in. As Earth's ship docked with the Viscari command barge, Moreno stepped onto the neutral deck. Standing across from her was First Negotiator Tyvan Kor, a tall, silver-skinned Viscari whose expression was unreadable. "You've come far," Tyvan said without ceremony. "Why now?" "Because the Empire doesn't stop at our borders," Moreno answered. "And because we know you've already seen what they do to those who stay neutral." Tyvan studied her. "Your species has a reputation for chaos and conflict. Why would we risk aligning with you?" Moreno smiled. "Because we're the only ones standing up to them and we're winning." She presented data from the raid at Serrani's Prime, footage from the sabotage averted back on Earth, and evidence that the Empire was planning to expand into Viscari-controlled sectors next. The room fell silent. "We won't beg," Moreno said clearly, "but we will stand with anyone who chooses to resist. If that's you, we'll share technology, defense strategies, and mutual protection." The Viscari weren't the only ones listening. Over the next few weeks, similar missions launched to the Tekari enclaves, the Free Moon Alliance, and even former Imperial outposts that had rebelled in secret. Captain Lara Reyes, back from her operations on the frontier, was assigned to escort one such diplomatic mission to the Drelzen Archipelago, a shattered system, once prosperous, before the Empire's blockade left it starving. The Drelzens greeted the Earth delegation with wary hope. They had seen their fleet stripped, their skies darkened by occupation. But when Reyes offered to deliver food, medical aid, and defense drones no strings attached, they began to believe that Earth's promises weren't just words. In orbit, Earth's engineers helped repair ancient Drelzen satellites. In secret, they trained local militia in modern tactics, and slowly, a network of resistance began to take shape across the stars. But news of these growing alliances did not go unnoticed. High Admiral Vorn watched the reports in the darkened chamber of his command cruiser. "They build alliances in the void," he muttered, "like vines growing where they should not." The Empire began to deploy blockade forces to worlds sympathetic to Earth. Skirmishes broke out. Smugglers carrying human weapons were captured. In some systems, pro-Earth factions clashed with loyalist forces backed by the Empire. But the movement was growing. On Earth, holograms lit up in every major city, showing the new flags of alliance systems. Citizens cheered as messages from alien leaders were broadcast, vowing to stand with Earth. Humanity's battle was no longer just for survival. It had become a symbol of fire that spread hope to the forgotten corners of the galaxy. In her office, Moreno looked at the growing map of allies with a solemn expression. "We've lit the beacon," she said to her aide. "Now we must make sure it doesn't go out." Across the stars, ships prepared, fleets formed, and in the void where only silence once reigned, the drums of resistance began to sound. The growing coalition around Earth had done what many believed impossible. It rattled the Galactic Empire. What began as a fringe rebellion by a single unaligned planet had grown into a network of determined worlds, all unified by a single purpose to resist. And the Empire had taken notice. High Admiral Vorn stood aboard the bridge of the Imperial Aegis, the flagship of the Empire's retaliation fleet. Towering above his officers, his voice was quiet, but absolute. The time for patience is over. Humanity will learn what it means to defy order. The Empire launched a coordinated campaign known as Operation Veilbreaker. It began with misinformation falsely attributed transmissions designed to turn Earth's allies against each other. Then came the surgical strikes, orbital bombardments on the outer colonies, sabotaged cargo shipments, and the mysterious disappearances of resistance leaders across 3 systems. The Free Moon Alliance, which had just pledged open support to Earth, saw its main communication relay destroyed in an unexpected ion storm later revealed to be artifici. In the Drelzen archipelago, an orbital minefield collapsed an asteroid station with over 2,000 lives aboard. Humanity's newly found unity was under attack not just by fleets, but by fear. On Earth, General Armandalka convened an emergency council. They're not just attacking systems, they're breaking confidence, he said grimly. If we don't respond, this entire network will unravel. Captain Lara Reyes had barely returned from her last mission when she was called, again this time to lead the defense of Vega's Reach, a crucial trade port on the edge of Alliance space. Intelligence showed that an Imperial task force was en route, but Earth didn't send just one squadron. In a bold move, 5 different species contributed forces to the defense: Viscari stealth ships, Drelzen plasma corvettes, Tekari anti-fighter, drones all under a unified command. Reyes stood at the command post aboard the newly commissioned Chess Valiant. This will be their test, she told the joint officers, not just of our weapons, but of our will to stand together. When the Empire's fleet dropped from warp, it was nearly twice the size of the Defenders. Imperial ships advanced with cold precision, their formations tight and disciplined. But what they did not expect was unpredictability. The humans had trained for chaos. Their allies, inspired by Earth's relentless nature, had learned to adapt. Quickly, as the battle began, Reyes ordered hit-and-run attacks that confused and disrupted Imperial formations. Drelzen corvettes darted through debris fields. Tekari drones hacked into enemy targeting systems, briefly turning their weapons on each other. The Viscari stealth ships unleashed EMP bursts from cloaked positions, knocking out several cruisers. Before vanishing into the void, the battle raged for hours. Midway through, the Empire deployed a super-heavy dreadnought, the Hammer of Order, directly toward Vega's surface. Its goal: break morale by threatening the civilian population. But humanity had prepared for such a threat. Earth's Orbital Defense Command initiated a long-range missile strike. Using coordinated targeting from 6 systems away, the missiles armed with new plasma penetrator warheads pierced the dreadnought shielding and detonated its internal drive dot in a single flash of light. The Hammer of Order was no more. The Empire's fleet began to retreat, not in panic, but in silent calculation. They had tested Earth and its allies and found resistance harder than anticipated. Across the galaxy, news of Vega's Reach spread like fire. Worlds that had hesitated now rushed to join Earth's alliance. Refugees from Imperial attacks found safety in human-protected systems. And what once was a fractured uprising now felt like the beginning of a real movement. Back on Earth, Ambassador Leah Moreno addressed the Council. They tried to divide us. They tried to silence us. But together, we turned them back. And now, we know they are not unstoppable. The stars do not belong to tyrants. They belong to all who dare to stand together. But even as the celebration echoed across free space, in the hidden core of the Empire, darker plans began to stir, plans designed not just to destroy Earth's fleet, but to break its spirit from within. Victory at Vega's Reach had energized Earth and its growing alliance. More systems pledged support, and resources flowed through newly secured trade routes. But behind the triumph, unease grew. The Empire had retreated too easily, too quietly. Captain Lara Reyes voiced what others feared, but didn't want to admit. This wasn't their final strike. It was their setup. She wasn't wrong. At the edge of Alliance space, a distress signal was intercepted from a colony called Eros Station, an outpost with minimal defenses and no strategic value. The message was garbled, but one word stood out: betrayer. General Dalk authorized an immediate response, dispatching Reyes and a Viscari scout team. What they found was eerie. Eros Station was intact, its systems operational. But its people over 4,000 residents were missing. Only a single survivor was left. Dr. Lyra Mendes, a civilian logistics coordinator. She was dehydrated and disoriented, claiming the station had experienced a sudden systems crash and mass panic. But as Reyes questioned her, she noticed gaps in Lyra's timeline and strange interference in the station's communication. Logs, Reyes, sent encrypted data back to Earth. Dr. Amina Patel and her cyber team began analyzing the files. What they found shocked them: an embedded algorithm that matched the Empire's sabotage virus updated, refined, and broadcast from inside Alliance systems. This was no accident, Amina said. Someone within the Alliance triggered it. Back on Earth, tensions mounted. Rumors spread through diplomatic circles. Some began to suspect the Viscari, others the Tekari, or even the Drelzens. The alliance that had been so carefully nurtured began to fracture. Ambassador Leo Moreno called an emergency summit aboard the Unity's Promise. Now a mobile council ship. All allied delegates gathered, some hesitant, others visibly angry. Moreno stood before them. "This is what the Empire wants," she said calmly. "They know they can't defeat us in open battle, so they planted a signal meant to divide us." But words weren't enough. That same night, another signal was detected this time in the defense grid of Earth's Lunar Command Station. Someone was trying to disable the orbital shield network. The attack was traced back to a relay drone registered under Drelzen control. Commander Elias Trent issued an immediate lockdown of all Alliance-controlled systems. The Drelzen ambassador demanded a full review, insisting the drone had been stolen. And then came the real betrayal. Dr. Lyra Mendes, rescued from Eros Station, vanished from her holding quarters. A routine scan of the medical bay revealed that she wasn't human at all. Her biology was synthetic, built to mimic human physiology, down to blood type and DNA markers. She had been an Imperial infiltrator the entire time. Using a concealed neural link, she had broadcast a masked signal into the Alliance's fleet coordination systems. The virus she unleashed was designed to corrupt targeting systems, subtly causing ships to misfire or ignore incoming threats. Reyes, following her instincts, intercepted Lyra aboard a cargo shuttle moments before she could escape. Their fight was swift and brutal. As the shuttle spiraled into orbit, Reyes disabled the cloaking module Lyra carried, revealing an Imperial transmitter hidden beneath her synthetic skin. The betrayal sent shockwaves through the Alliance, but it also solidified something else: resolve. This was their plan. Reyes told the Council, "Make us turn on each other. Make us fear our allies." But they failed, and now we know their game. The Alliance implemented new layers of encryption, biometric security, and double verification. Chains for all cross-species operations. Shared technology protocols were updated, and joint task forces were reorganized under a unified command with rotating leadership. No one would face the Empire alone again. Back in the dark void between systems, the Empire watched. "High Admiral, Vorn received word of the failed infiltration, so they've adapted," he muttered. "Then it's time for the final phase." He turned to his officers. "Ready the Starbreaker." In the cold void beyond the galactic rim, hidden within a cloaked facility carved into a dead moon, the Empire's final weapon was awakened. The Starbreaker, a warship the size of a small moon, had remained dormant for over a century, a relic of a forgotten conquest. Now it stirred to life, its dark core pulsing with artificial gravity and ion storms captured from collapsed stars. High Admiral Vorn stood before its command throne, addressing his elite cadre. "The Alliance has grown, bold to confident. It's time to remind the stars who rules them. The Starbreaker was not merely a ship. It was a system destroyer. Where fleets failed, the Starbreaker would erase. Its main cannon, fueled by unstable dark matter, could pierce planetary shields and vaporize continents with one strike." Vorn intended to end humanity's resistance and their world, but Earth was no longer alone. On the Unity's Promise, the Alliance Council had intercepted fragmented intelligence about the Starbreaker's activation. Viscari scouts confirmed movement near the Helian Expanse, a known Imperial testing zone. Humanity and its allies had only days, perhaps hours, to respond. General Armin Dalka, flanked by Viscari Commander Tyvan Kor and Drelzen Fleet Mistress Valana, stood before a united command center. "This isn't just about Earth," Dalka said. "This is about every world that dares to dream of freedom." The Alliance launched Operation Emberfall, coordinated high-risk counterstrike to intercept the Starbreaker before it reached striking range of Earth. Captain Lara Reyes led the vanguard aboard the HSS Valiant, now upgraded with hybrid shielding and Viscari stealth plating. Her fleet included over 200 ships, human, Drelzen, Tekari, and Viscari alike. They moved through uncharted warp tunnels, riding the edge of known space, racing the Empire to the final battlefield. The Starbreaker emerged near the edge of Sol System, just beyond Neptune's orbit. Its shadow blocked starlight as it charged its core. A haunting silence echoed across communications channels. Then the Alliance arrived. The battle was immediate and blinding. Tekari drones swarmed forward, jamming the Starbreaker's sensors. Drills and plasma frigates wove in tight formations, hammering the ship's external generators. Viscari stealth ships deployed spatial mines in its path, forcing it to divert power from its cannon to its shielding. But the Starbreaker was relentless. Its dark matter lance fired, once obliterating 3 Alliance destroyers and splitting an asteroid field in half. Shockwaves rippled toward Mars. Earth's orbital defenses activated in full. Ready to die protecting their home dot in the chaos, Reyes saw an opening. The Valiant dug beneath the Starbreaker's underbelly, shielded by debris and cloaked fighters. Her target wasn't its main cannon, it was its cooling system. Without it, the internal core would overheat. Target Relay Junction 7, Reyes commanded. Fire on my mark. Her ship launched a series of piercing torpedoes, each guided by Tekari AI algorithms. One by one, they struck the Starbreaker's thermal regulators. Sparks erupted, then fire. Within the heart of the Empire's great weapon, alarms screamed. The overcharged core began to destabilize. High Admiral Vorn refused to retreat. We fall with fire, he said. Reyes ordered a full retreat from the immediate blast zone. The Alliance fleet scattered. And then the Starbreaker cracked. In a blinding pulse of light in antimatter, the ship imploded, dragging its remnants into a miniature singularity before collapsing into silence. Where death once loomed, only stardust remained. Cheers erupted across every Allied channel. Earth's skies remained untouched. Back on Earth, crowds gathered in the streets. Holograms lit up with the symbol of the Alliance, a star ringed by wings. For the first time in galactic memory, the Empire had suffered a true defeat. General Dalka addressed the world. We stood together. We faced the impossible. We endured. Ambassador Leah Moreno followed him, smiling. This isn't just the end of a war, she said. It's the beginning of something greater. Among the stars, ships began to rebuild. Treaties were signed. And on the ruined world of Eros Station, humans and aliens worked side by side, planting gardens where once there had been silence. Humanity had come unready, but they left their mark across the galaxy, not in conquest, but in unity. And the stars, once tools of empires, now burned for freedom.